Meet sailing yacht Avanti and her crew, Gerard and Jacqueline. We left Cape Town in December 2021 on our floating home, heading west on an adventure of a lifetime around the world. Welcome to Savusavu, Fiji. This week we install new batteries and sail the different islands in search of beauty.
I've taken out our old batteries, all three of the four. The one is still connected that I'm thinking is still providing some voltage, and it's not getting that hot when it charges. But yeah, I'm prepping to just install the new batteries in the same place as the old ones. Luckily the dimensions are exactly the same. But the prognosis of these are maybe two things that went wrong. Potentially the heat from the engine compartment went through the insulation and the wooden wall between the battery compartment and the engine compartment, and it heated them up. According to the data sheet, you shouldn't be charging them when it's higher than 40 degrees Celsius temperature, and if the engine did heat them up, it would have definitely been more than that. The other potential reason is that we don't have a charge controller on our alternator, so when we run the motor and the switch is to charge the house bank, it will charge it at 14.2 volts, which according to a lot of resources that I've read is not an issue, but maybe it is an issue when you do it for extremely long periods. I think we probably did it for like a day or so when we motored 3 days in the Pacific, so that might have caused overcharging. And it also caused it to maybe create a short, even just in one, and then that battery heated up and it caused all the batteries to go. So we don't know.
We're on our way to go pick up our new batteries. We bought them in the main island in the town of Suva, and then they put them on the ship for us, and overnight, so it left Thursday night, it's Friday morning now, it'll arrive here at the dock, which is walking distance from where we are. And once we have them, we might need to take a taxi to get back. I don't think Gerard's going to carry the 120 kilograms, and then we'll just dinghy them over to Avanti. Isn't it amazingly clean next to this main road in Savusavu? The town might be a little worn out, but she really is super clean. Once we arrived in Savusavu, we immediately paid the local supplier of the Victron batteries and just waited for delivery, heading our way with the overnight ship.
This is the compartment where the batteries sit in Avanti. 3 of them go over here, and then there's one that goes over in another small compartment. It sits right next to the engine compartment, and there's just a wooden board that basically separates the two. There is some thermal insulation and sound insulation on the inside of the engine compartment, but I've got an old polystyrene cooler box that we got in Panama, and it's a very nice thickness. This is very good insulating material. So on the inside of the battery compartment, I'm putting additional heat insulation now in the form of this polystyrene that I've just cut to size. And I'm also going to make a radiative heat shield just on the inside of the engine compartment, just to reflect some of the radiative heat from the engine, so that as little as possible heat goes to the batteries. So we've installed all the new batteries. It was a perfect fit, even with the additional heat insulation, they still fitted. I just needed to move over the locating wood a little bit, the ones that keep them in place and keep them from moving around when the boat heels over. So they're working like a charm at the moment, like 13 volts still after 6 at night. So we've got 3 here and 1 just a little bit further back. So yeah, let's hope they last and take us back to Cape Town.
Today we go to Labasa, the main town in the island.
Yes.
Thank you.
With Tammy and his velocity.
Now that we have power again, it was time to explore further. Labasa was nothing to write home about, but it does have a Hindu temple that's very important to the local people. There are 108 stairs for the 108 people that contributed to the building of the temple, and the rock looks like a snake head, and it's been said that the snake tunnels that go under the temple connect to all other temples on the island.
I hate this weather. It's been raining and overcast for, I don't know, 10 days. Feels like that. So yeah, it's frustrating. We're stuck here and we don't really want to be out there and just sit on the boat if it's raining. So hopefully today it clears up. Today I'm tasting another of the local and favorite Fijian beers. Between the bitter, the Fiji bitter and the Fiji gold, this is the most popular ones we see the locals drink. So this is another lager. It comes in a can and a bottle of 330 ml, and it's got 4.6% alcohol content. Nice golden color and quite clear, obviously a filtered lager. So let's see how this one goes down. This one is not as bitter as the Fiji bitter, a lot more malty taste, and yeah, it's really actually a good lager, very refreshing if it's nice and cold, crispy, with that little bit of a malty taste. So tastes like a real beer. And so in terms of a rating, this one I prefer the Pilsner or the Fiji bitter, so this one I have to rate a little bit lower. It's also the same price, about $2.95 in the shop. So in terms of a rating for this one, 6 out of 10.
We finally left! Yay! A lot of rain! Sadly, the swell was too big and the wind was right on the nose and we had to turn back. We finally got out of there, luckily, the next day. We are between Amena and the island we're going to Makemo. And we first thought we were seeing pilot whales, and then we started seeing these huge dorsal fins, and it's orcas. Which is a bit creepy because they're attacking sailboats near Gibraltar at the moment, but they were too far behind to catch them on film, and we're going towards a family now that's spraying, but it's too far to see on the camera, so hopefully they come a bit closer so we can show you. Well, not too close. But orcas, not what we expected to see today. I think we're counting about 7. We're trying to zoom in as much as we can. This is amazing. There she goes, that's the big one. Or the male probably. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're so beautiful.
Now that we've made it to the stunning Makogai anchorage, it was time to make a run for it to the beach and have a braai just before sunset.
Fiji is known as the soft coral capital of the world, and our first snorkeling spot did not disappoint. Tonga and Fiji's waters has been much colder than French Polynesia, and I'm really grateful I have this 1mm swimming suit to keep me warm so that I can swim longer. Sailing in Fiji so far has really only meant rainstorms and staying in an anchorage or motoring to the next anchorage, so it's really good to finally have some wind. We are wing on wing in the channel at the moment. There's a stunning sunset as we overnight to our next anchorage. The main island is just here on our side, but we're skipping that and going to the Yassava Islands first, and then gonna take a sharp turn east before we go back to the mainland to get a few last jobs done and then clear out. We have to clear out in the main island, but it's only like 13 miles from the Yassavas, or some of the Yassavas, to the main island, so not a far stretch. We should have some good sailing between the islands from here on out, we hope.
An overnight sail has us arriving at our first Yassava Island at sunrise. Once we go to land to explore some caves, the local family taking care of the caves tell us the price, and we decide to rather just look from the outside.
Woo, fish on! Looks like a skipjack. Small tuna, I think. Turns out to be a perfect mackerel. The national dish of Fiji is actually poisson cru, the same as the Polynesian countries, which is raw fish made in a ceviche style with coconut milk. But because we've already done that, another thing that's really famous in Fiji is fish curry. So we've got some coconut milk boiling here with some tomatoes, garam masala, and as well as chili, garlic, and some ginger. So we're just going to add some fish and some veggies, then we've got our fish curry. And then we have a beautiful mackerel, Spanish mackerel curry. And yeah, the curries we've been finding in Fiji has been super cheap when you go to one of the local shops. It's been between 7 and 10 Fijian, which is, I'll do the math and put it in the caption below. But it's been really affordable to have curries off the boat. There you go.
So what's for dinner tonight?
Dry bread. We caught a mackerel yesterday and I cooked it for us and some friends, and we played some cards, and then later that night I started vomiting. Gave myself food poisoning, which is lovely. And the anchorage is not great, so we'll be anchor watching again all night. The anchorages in Fiji have been, well, not Fiji, in the Savusavu group, has been either very deep or very rocky, and we've been watching the anchor almost every night, so, which we didn't expect because it's such a popular place to be cruising. I didn't think it was going to be this difficult, but another night of anchor watch. Yay!
That's all we have time for this week, but next week we have a kava ceremony with the local tribe before we head into the marina for a long list of jobs that we need to fix before we can continue our journey westward. Please leave us a like and comment and subscribe to our channel. Lastly, we need to thank our Patreons for supporting us monthly. You can join them by clicking on the link in the description below.